All right, so let's, because it got cold, let's do small joints. So we'll start seated. Do our small joints first before we get up and use our pole. All right, let's start with ankles. So we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. So starting with, we're going to extend the legs out and then pull the toes back towards the chest or the torso. Little bend in the knee. Keep that knee from hyperextending. Excellent. And then we're going to point and flex. So you can do 1 foot at a time or both together. And we want to keep the heels down on the mat. If they're popping up, that's getting into hyperextension in the knee. Excellent. All right, release that. And next we're going to do supinate and pronate. So the sole of the foot comes in towards the center and then pinky toe towards the shoulder. So back and forth with the foot. You can do 1 at a time, both together or opposites. Excellent. All right, release that one. And then we're going to open and close the toes. Since we're coming into boot weather, toes get a little crunched down in there. So squeeze the toes together and then open them up. Excellent. Release that one. And then we'll finish off with side to side windshield wipers. Noticing that movement coming all the way up into that hip joint. Excellent. All right, release that. You can check them out. And then you can keep the legs out straight or cross the legs, whatever's comfortable. And then let's come up to the wrists. So we're gonna bring the arms out in front, tuck the thumb, wrap the fingers, and make circles with the wrist. And again, do 1 at a time, both together or opposites. Go in both directions. And then getting into bigger circles into the elbows and the shoulders. Excellent. Release that, shake it out, and then we're going to bring the palms together, interlace the fingers, and make figure eights. We're going to pause for a moment, pull the hands apart, switch fingers on top. Nice. All right, release that and shake it out. So let's move up to the neck. So we're sitting up nice and tall, and we're going to inhale. On the exhale, chin drops down to the chest. Inhale, looking up, going just as far as is comfortable. Exhale, bring it all the way back down. Inhale, looking up. And exhale down. Nice. One more time. Inhale all the way up. And exhale all the way back down. Nice and slow. Excellent. Inhale back to neutral, and then we're going to go ear to shoulder. Again, nice and slow. Take the inhale first, and then exhale ear to shoulder. Inhale center. Exhale other side. Nice. Inhale center. Exhale back to the first side. Inhale center. Exhale second side. Inhale back to center. One more time each side. We're going to exhale back to that first side. We're going to bring that same arm out over and around, resting on the opposite side of the head. Gently, we're not pulling or tugging. And then making space between the ear and shoulder. And we're going to use our yoga breath here. So we're going to inhale into any tension that you're finding. On the exhale, scoop that tension out and release it with the breath. So we'll just take a few breaths here. Relaxing into softness. Excellent. When you're ready to release, inhale first, and then the head comes up and the arm releases. Nice. Exhale, we're going to go to the other side. That same arm comes out and over, resting on the side of the head, just gently. And then coming back to that breath. Inhale into the tension wherever it is, in the neck, in the shoulder, in the spine. And then on the exhale, release that tension with the breath. Take a few breaths here. Excellent. And then when you're ready, inhale to start, and then head comes up and release the arm. Nice. All right, one more here with the neck. Looking straight ahead, we're going to inhale. On the exhale, turning to the first side, chin towards the shoulder. Inhale back to center, moving nice and slow. Exhale to the second side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, first side. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. Nice. Inhale, center. One more time, each side. Exhale. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, second side. Nice. Inhale, back to center. We're going to do the shoulders. So you're going to inhale, forward and up. Exhale, down and back. Inhale. And exhale. Excellent. Let's reverse direction. So inhale back and up, exhale down and forward. Nice. Couple more, either direction or straight up and down. Nice. All right, so release that. Let's go ahead from here and come up to standing and grab our pole. All right, so let's start with our cat and cow. So we're going to bring feet nice and wide, and hands are below the shoulders here to start. And we're just going to bend the knees, dip the chin. This is our exhale. This is our cat. And then we're going to inhale, looking up, rounding up. This is our cow. So we're just going to go back and forth between the two. Any pose that we do today, you don't have to use the pole. It's always an option. If I forget to say it again. Excellent. All right, so pause that one. Next, we're going to come into our laterals. So when we usually do laterals, we do one side and then the other. When we're doing it with the pole, we do one side and then the other. All right, so it looks like this. Pick a side, doesn't matter which side. Feet are nice and wide because our center of gravity is changing. And we'll do 10 on each side. So hand is below the shoulder, holding onto the pole, and it's out to the side. We're going to inhale this other arm up. And we want to cross the midline, but you don't have to go all the way over and touch the pole. And then we're going to exhale back. Inhale. And exhale. And you might find as we get going that the body warms up a little bit. You can go a little further. That's fine, but don't feel like you have to push it. If you can notice kind of on that side body where you're feeling that. All right, 2 more. And last one. Excellent. All right, we're going to switch sides. And slightly below the shoulder, we're going to use the other arm. And so what I was kind of talking about is where in, when we're leaning over, where are you feeling it? Up in the ribs, in that middle waist, closer down to the hip. So just something to notice. Inhale and exhale. And we do have asymmetrical patterns in our habits. So you might notice one side feels easier or harder than the other. Nice, we'll do 2 more. And last one. Excellent. All right. So that's our lateral. Let's do our twist next. And again, if you haven't moved your feet, that's great. Wide feet for this. Center of gravity and all of that business. So up to you how high up you want this. Anywhere from here down to here, kind of like the mid-range. And then hands are wider than the shoulders. We're going to inhale, center position, and then on the exhale, we're going to turn to one side. Inhale back to center, exhale second side. Try not to whack your neighbor too hard, even if they deserve it. If this feels awesome, keep going. If you prefer the swing method, you can do that as long as you're not going to hurt yourself. Excellent. All right, let's do one more time each side or finish off evenly. Nice. All right, so we did those 6 directions of the spine. We're going to come back to symmetrical. So we're going to do, let's do half sun salutation. So option here, if you don't like using the pole for this one, you can put it aside and just do half sun like we usually do. Otherwise, let's do this one. I'll show you one, for example, if you haven't seen this with the pole or don't remember what it looks like. So we're going to inhale, pole comes up, and then exhale, hinging at those hip joints, fold forward. And then inhale, halfway lift, the pole and your hands can come to the legs. Exhale, fold forward again. Bend the knees, nice and deep. Inhale. And come all the way up and then exhale down. All right, let's do 3. Here we go. So we're going to inhale, exhale, fold forward, inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, inhale, arms come up by the ears, and then bring it all the way up. Exhale down. Excellent. And again, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. You can always keep a little bend in those knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, inhale, arms by the ears, and then bring it all the way up. And then exhale down. All right, one more. Inhale. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees. Inhale, arms coming up. All the way up, and then exhale, arms down by your side. Nice. All right, anybody not warm yet? All right, let's do our fabulous moving balance. So again, if you want to do it without the pole, you can do that. Otherwise, let's start with, actually, we're going to start with Karate Kid Flying Crane. We'll go in reverse order, make those brain cells work. So if you haven't done this one before, with the pole, you can do it without the pole, I can show you that. Otherwise, with the pole, you do one knee up and then the pole comes up. Or you could even just do the knees and have the pole out. Without the pole, we do the arms out to the side and one knee comes up. Basically, you're doing one knee at a time. So the arms can be negotiated. All right, so I'm gonna do the first one that I showed you, arms up with one knee up. All right, so here we go. And then we're also going to breathe as we're doing this. So when the pole goes up, that's an inhale. When it comes down, it's the exhale. So here we go. So we're gonna inhale, lift one knee, arms come up, exhale down, and then other side. Excellent, all right. So if this is super easy, and you want to make it more difficult, when you come up, hold that leg up and then stay up for 5, 10, 15 seconds. If this is too much, you can do it again, like I said, without the pole, or you can do just the arms or just the feet. Excellent. All right, so let's do one more time each leg. Nice. All right, from here, shake out the legs, shake out the arms. After any pose, if you're feeling a little tension, go ahead and shake that out. All right, are we ready for palm tree pose? So options with palm tree pose. Originally without the pole, you can do just coming up on the toes. Nice ankle and foot strengthener. You can do just the arms or put them both together. And this is what it looks like without the pole. All right, so with the pole, it looks similar. We're just gonna hold on to the pole. All right, you guys ready? So any which way you like, go for it. Inhale and exhale. Oh, another option that I didn't, you guys keep going however you're going. Another option is without the arms, hold on to the pole and up on the feet. That's an option too. Especially if you're just starting out with balance, building up that muscle memory and the strength to lift yourself up. Excellent. All right, one more. Nice, and release. So from here, we can shake it out. So we're gonna do our Warrior One next. And again, without the pole, you know what Warrior One looks like. We're gonna do, we'll warm up the knee first, and then we'll add arm stuff. All right, so standing, turn one foot out, we're gonna step the other foot forward. And it doesn't matter which hand the pole is in at the moment, but when we do the next part, it will. All right, so we're gonna inhale, straight leg, exhale, bend. We're aiming for that second and third toe. And then we wanna keep the torso perpendicular to the floor, so we're not leaning forward when we come into that bent knee. And then the other thing we want to do is keep the head looking straight ahead or down towards the floor. And that matters for your cervical spine. If we're looking up, we've got potential for pinching nerves and messing with vertebrae, etc. All right. You're gonna push off, step back or step the back foot forward and go to the other side. So turn that foot out, step the second foot forward. And again, aiming for that second and third toe, inhale, straight leg, exhale, bend. Very nice. You're gonna push off, step back or step that back foot forward. And then for the arm add-on, we're gonna do that forward fold. So I can show you first if you like. Turn the foot out, step that first foot forward. The pole is in the opposite hand of the foot that's in front. We're gonna take that arm that the leg in front is, so right or left. And here we go. So we're gonna inhale, we're gonna lift the arm up and bend that front knee. On the exhale, we're gonna fold forward and sweep the arm down towards the floor. You obviously don't have to touch it. Inhale, bring that arm back up, torso comes back up. And then we're gonna exhale, straighten the leg, bring the arm down. All right, let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward, arm swings down. Inhale, arm swings back up. Exhale, bend, straighten the leg, drop the arm. All right, one more time. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Arm swings down. Inhale. Bring that arm back up. Exhale, and done. Nice. You can step that feet back together. And then let's do the other side. Turn that foot out, step that second foot forward, switch hands with the pole, and here we go. So we're gonna inhale, arm up, bend that front knee. Exhale, fold forward, arm swings down. Inhale, arm comes back up. Exhale, straighten the leg, drop the arm. Nice. Again, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come back up, bless you, and exhale down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, done. Nice. All right, we're gonna step the feet back together. And then let's do a little hip movement. So it might be easier to do at a chair, but I think we can do it with a pole. I'll show you first and then you can decide. So we're gonna start with leg out to the side. Do that for a couple times, and then we're gonna do in front and then behind, and then we'll switch legs. Okay, so your choice. You could probably do it without a pole or a chair if you want. but I don't have time to go to the emergency room, so I'm gonna encourage you not to. All right, so here we go. You can start with whichever leg you like, and you can do both hands or just one hand and then the other hand on the hip. All right, so we're gonna start with one leg going out to the side. So if you want to add the breath, it's the inhale as the leg goes out and then exhale as it comes in. Nice. All right, so pause that, and then we're going to do the swing with the same leg. Figure warm it up first and then do that. All right, so here we go. So we're going to go out first and then in front, out and then behind. So when you go behind, you might have to bend that knee a little bit more. Or not. If you have long legs, this might be super easy. Or if you have tight hips, this might be super hard. That's okay, so I got to practice. Excellent. All right. So come back to center on that. Let's do the other leg. So we'll start with going out to the side first. All right, pause that, and then in out, and then behind. So if this is something that you want to take home and practice on your own and you have one hip that's super tight, do that one first, do the other side, and then go back to the super tight side. All right, just for a while. Try and keep stuff even, but if you've got an asymmetrical issue, you can do something like that. All right, so what do we want to do next? Let's do big arms, because we haven't done a lot of arms yet. So feet are nice and wide. And we're gonna start with the hands pretty far apart. And then we're gonna go around the head. So over and in front. If the shoulders don't wanna do this, you can keep it in front and make it smaller. Are you hitting the table?
Yeah, the drummer. I'm trying not to. Trying not to hit everybody else too.
That's okay.
All right, now we're going to switch sides. So the first side that you picked is probably the easier. Not necessarily, but most likely. Excellent. All right, that's good. So next, we're going to take the pole and bring it on to the back here. So we want it down further, not like up on the neck, but kind of where, I'm going to say C7. I don't know if you know what that means, but if you do, yay. All right, so it's kind of, it's not on the shoulders, but it's not on the neck. All right, there's like one little bone that you're going to go, okay, that's the one she's talking about. And then we're going to drape the hands or the wrists over the pole. Feet are wide for nice center of gravity. I mean, you can do it with narrow ones, but so, and as you're going, if you want to make the circles bigger, you can do that. Or if you've got some tightness there, you might want to keep it small and gentle. Reverse direction. Excellent. All right, from here, we're going to bring the pole down. So bring it around in front and then behind the back. So now we're going to hit the sacrum, which you may not know what that means, but it's basically the tops of the pelvis in the back where the spine comes in. There's a little triangle there. All right, so now we're gonna do a little hip motion and maybe they're nice and warmed up. Hands, palms can face forward. And we're just gonna do little circles here. Gonna bend the knees as much as you like here. And get some movement in there. This is good for the hips and the spine and the knees. Excellent. And then when you're ready, we're gonna reverse direction. Awesome sauce. All right, so release that. Hopefully that's even on both sides. I got distracted. So we're going to do a baby back bend. So we haven't done a lot of warm-ups for a back bend. So just go minimum. But it's good practice. So this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna bring the hands in closer. They don't have to come all the way to the body, but you know, a little closer is good. And we're gonna use the breath and we're gonna bend the knees. So we're basically just looking up and that's gonna give us our back bend. We'll do 3. If for whatever reason you get a little dizzy, come down forward and then you can come down into child's pose, but we're really not going that far. So hopefully that's not an issue. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna look straight ahead. As we inhale, we're gonna bend the knees a little bit and look up towards the ceiling, just as far as is comfortable. You don't have to go very far. That's still a back bend. And then exhale, bring it back to neutral. All right, I'm gonna invite you to go a little deeper, only if you really want and it feels okay. Here we go. Inhale, looking up. And then exhale, bring it back. All right, we're doing one more. As far as you want to go, but not too far. So bend the knees first, inhale, looking straight ahead, and then up. And then exhale, bring it back. All right, everybody okay? Nobody's gonna pass out? All right, good. Like I said, I don't got time to go to the emergency room. All right, so let's bring this back in front. And because we just did those back bends, let's counterpose that, and we're gonna do dolphin pose. All right, so it's kind of basically like cat, but a little deeper. So feet are nice and wide. Both arms are on the pole. The top hand is below the shoulder. And we're going to exhale. We're going to dip the head below the arms, if possible, bend the knees nice and deep. And then on the inhale, coming back up. So you can look up a little bit, but we're trying to counterpose, so don't go too high. Exhale. Down, inhale, back up. So go ahead and do a few on your own. See how that feels. Excellent. And then coming back to neutral. All right, so let's see, what do we want? Do we want big balance or do we want more like walking balance? Let's go big balance. It's a beautiful sunny day. We're going for it. All right, we got it. Let's start with tree. Not too hard. To start, you gotta break it in easily. So here's what you can do. A, you can do it without the pole. That's always your option. B, we're gonna start with tripod feet. Check in with this hip. I'm exaggerating here, but we want to keep this joint nice and straight and then engage the muscles around that joint so it's nice and secure. So you can have the pole in either hand, doesn't matter. And this other arm can do whatever you like. Straight up, straight out, anywhere in between, moving as you're breathing. Since we have the pole, and if you want, you can bring that foot up higher. So if you have your foot on your leg, you can push the leg into the foot and the foot into the leg. Oh wait, breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Most important. You can actually use that arm. Inhale up and then exhale down. So if you're practicing to be able to do this, you can gently kind of release your grip on the pole so that you're doing more of the work here. That's something that you want to work on. You can bring your foot up higher, but if you're losing, if it's sliding down, just stay where it's comfortable and not going to be an issue. All right. So coming out nice and gracefully, so you release that leg, shake them out, shake out the arms, and then let's do the other side. You can start with tripod or kickstand. Check in with that straight leg hip. This arm can do whatever it wants. You bring that foot up higher if you want. We want to breathe. Excellent. All right, so release that, shake it out. And then our next step up in balance challenge is going to be pigeon. So it doesn't matter which foot you start with. We're going to bend the knee and we're making a little shelf here. And we're going to bring the other foot, the ankle, or that foot on that little shelf. So the pole can be in either hand, and this arm can be on the hip, out to the side, wherever you like it. We want to keep the breath going. And if you can sit a little bit in this pose, that makes these muscles work, which helps the knee. All right, let's take one more breath here. And then to of this, we're gonna exhale and come into sleeping. Hold forward. You can drop the arm. If that's too much, stay up in your regular pigeon. And then to come out of this, we're going to push that foot into the floor. Inhale as we come up, straighten that leg, release the other one, and shake it out. Excellent. All right, let's try the other side. Foot on the floor, bend that knee. The other ankle or foot comes on that little shelf. And again, kind of sitting into our little chair almost with our pigeon. Take a couple breaths here. And then if you want to make it more of a challenge, we're going to exhale and fold forward, drop that arm down. Excellent. When you're ready to come out, top tier, most difficult challenge pose that we're going to do with the pole, because there's probably more other difficult ones than this one, but we're going to say this is our big one, dancer pose. So first order of business, if you can't grab your ankle or your foot, we have options for that. You can use your chair and bring your shin onto the chair. You're still getting all the benefits, and that's fine if you want to do that. I always forget to say grab a strap, but if you have a strap handy, you can strap it around that foot and hold it there. Right. Next up is coming into the pose. So one hand on the pole, we're going to grab the opposite ankle or foot, and the shoulders back. If you're not using it, can be really awesome. So this can be posed right here. If a challenge, knee towards that back wall. That straight leg can be sort of bent-ish. I'm going to keep the breath going. And then coming out, we're going to point that knee back towards the floor. Coming up. All right, let's try the other side. One side might be easier than the other. Fingers crossed, right? All All right, so we're gonna grab the ankle or the foot. Pause here, I'll take a couple breaths here, pointing that knee down towards the floor. Shoulders are back, if you can. And then if you want to add on and make it more of a challenge, we're gonna point that knee towards that back. And then to come out nice and slow, point that knee back towards the floor and then release. All right, check it out. Easiest, hardest, not the easiest. And that's not even the full, you grab your leg anyway. All right, let's do, let's do warrior 2 and then we're gonna do triangle. And then probably pyramid pose. All right, so let me see if I can remember all of those. All right, so 1 foot forward, back foot's at 90 degrees-ish. Pole is in the back hand. We're gonna bend that front knee over that front ankle. If your feet aren't where you like them, you can always move them. Sometimes the sticky mat sticks before you want it to. And then this front arm is gonna point. All right, so take a breath or so here. And then let's do our 2 moving ones from here. So we're gonna bend that elbow, come down to side angle pose. And then inhale, bring that arm up. Times exhale, side angle pose. Inhale, peaceful warrior. And one more time through side angle pose. And inhale, peaceful warrior. Excellent. Back to warrior 2. Going to step the feet back together and go to the other side. The pole is in the hand in the back. The other hand is out in front. Bend that front knee over that front ankle. If you need to adjust your feet at all, do that. Soften the shoulders. And let's do some moving. So bend that front elbow, exhale, side angle pose. Inhale, windmill around to peaceful warrior. Exhale back to side angle pose. And again, inhale, peaceful warrior. And one more time through. Exhale, side angle pose. And inhale, peaceful warrior. Beautiful. All right, let's finish with our warrior 2. And then we'll drop the arms, step the feet back together, and we're going to go straight into pyramid pose. So this is not my favorite, or I'm sorry, triangle pose. This is not my favorite version of triangle, but it's fun. We have the poles. We're going to do it. All right. So 1 foot in the front. The pole is in the front. You can bend that front knee as much or as little as you like. All right, so we've got that one arm in front. We're gonna bring the other arm over and around, grab the pole, and then the lower hand walks down. And we wanna look under that arm that's above us towards the horizon, if possible. You can look down at the floor. I don't remember looking up at I don't recommend looking up at the ceiling, but either which way, take one more breath here. And then we're gonna bend that knee first, walk the hands up, and then step the feet back together. Excellent. All right, other side. Step the other foot back. Hand on the front. And then we're gonna bring this back arm over. Grab the pole, walk that lower hand down. Turn and look under that arm. Excellent, one more breath. And then we're gonna bend the knee, walk the hands up, and then step the feet back together. Awesome sauce. All right. Pyramid pose with a straightish knee, but both feet are facing or pointing towards the top of the mat. So 1 foot steps forward, If this feels a little wobbly, you can step the feet wider towards the sides of the mat like that, or closer together the other way. All right. Again, without the pole, it's a forward fold. With the pole, just go as far as is comfortable. Let's see. I'm going to do this version. So walking down, and as you come down, you might want to bend that front knee a little bit. You may not need to, but better bent than pulling on it. All right, when you're ready, inhale, come back up. And then we're going to step the feet back together. Step the other foot back. And let's do it again. Exhale, we're going to fold forward. Pay attention to that front knee that needs to bend at any point. And when you're ready to come up, inhale, push the feet into the floor and coming up. Nice. All right. Step the feet together. All right. High lunge, and then we'll see if I can think of anything else before we run out of time. So for high lunge, option to do without the pole. Otherwise, it's going to look like this. We're going to step forward and then raise it up, drop it down, and step back. Do that each side 3 times. All right, so here we go. So we're going to step forward, inhale, lift it up, drop it down, and step back. Nice. All right. Step forward, lift it up, drop it down, step back. One more time. Excellent. All right, let's try the other side. Step forward, inhale, lift it up, exhale down, and step back. All right, again, inhale, exhale, back. One more time. Beautiful. All right, we did it. Nobody died. I was worried about that one. All right, so we did all of the warriors. Oh, we didn't do warrior 3. Let's do warrior 3, and then we'll come down to the floor. So warrior 3 is standing on one leg with all the other limbs extended, basically. So warrior 1 is the arms up, warrior 2 is the arms out, and then warrior 3 is 3 limbs. Okay. You ever forget? There's a quiz in 10 minutes. Okay, so for warrior 3, option to do it without the pole, and you could actually do it with a chair. You do the seat of the chair, one leg up, do it on the seat or on the back. With the pole, you can do like that, or if you really have your balance, like that. So those are your, I don't know how many options that was, 3, 5, 10. So here we go. So you're gonna pick a foot to start with. That foot is gonna have a straight leg. And then we're gonna bring the other arm out. So we're gonna step that second foot back with just the toes on the floor. So if this is all you wanna do today, that's totally fine, you got it. So we're gonna come up, so we're all the way on just that one leg if you want to go this far. Both arms out, breathing. So we want to see if we can get the leg up and the torso down a little bit. And we're breathing. Excellent. And then to come out, we're going to drop that leg down and then stand up into it. Awesome. All right, step the feet together and shake anything out. And then let's do the other side. So you can switch which hand the pole is in, or you may prefer to keep it in the same hand, and that's totally fine. All right, foot in the center of the mat, that's gonna be that straight leg. Stepping back with the toes of the other foot. And then from here, we're gonna lift the leg up and the torso comes down, the arms are out. You can bend that straight leg knee if you need to. Excellent. All right. And then to come down, bring the leg down and then straighten up. Nice. All right. That's great. So from here, we're going to go straight down to the floor, onto our spine. You can put your pole out of your way. I'm going to turn my mat sideways. And let's do some fabulous counter poses. All right. So you bring your feet up on the knees and then roll down flat at the back. And let's start. We did a lot of hip stuff today. So let's do Apanasana. And we did a lot of back stuff. So I'm going to recommend wide-legged Apanasana. So hands on the knees. When you exhale, you're going to draw the knees into the chest. When you inhale, arms. So we're just moving the knees back and forth. I don't know, 5 inches at the most. Could be less, could be more. And this is that counter pose for that lumbar spine. It's also a counter pose for hip movement. Excellent. All right. On the next movement, we're going to exhale, bring the knees in. On the inhale, arms go overhead, feet up towards the ceiling. We're going to point and flex the feet. If you like, exhale, bend the knees, hands to knees. Inhale, open, point and flex. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to knees. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, open, point and flex. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to knees. Last time. Inhale, open, point and flex. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to knees. All right, from here, if you'd like, you can rock side to side. Some people love this, some people don't like it too much. All right. Next, we're bringing the feet down to the mat, arms out to the side in a T. And we're going to do windshield wipers with the knees. So you can walk the feet away from the body a little bit and a little wider. That might feel better doing it like that. And we're just going to go side to side with the knees. So you can go just a couple of inches each way, or you can go all the way over, all the way back. And then if you didn't already, adding the breath, inhale as the knees come up, exhale as they go out to the side. Excellent. And then from here, option to keep the knees bent, feet on the mat, and then we're going to do palm tree pose arms. So we're going to start with the arms down by our sides. On the inhale, arms up overhead to the floor above you. Exhale, arms back down by your sides. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, back down. Excellent. One more time. Nice. Get ready for our final relaxation pose. If you have a chair and you want to bring your legs up on your chair, you're welcome to do that. You can have your knees bent, feet on the mat. Bring the feet wide and then drop the knees in together. The back kind of likes that sometimes. Or if you're more comfortable with your legs straight out, you can do that. Either way, we're going to relax the legs and the feet. Maybe tuck the shoulder blades under if that's comfortable. And getting any last little wiggles out. I'm going to sit up so you can hear me better. And let's do a full body relaxation, walking up the body, relaxing each part as we go, starting with the feet. Relax the toes. Relax the tops of the feet, the soles of the feet, and the heels. Release the ankles. Relax the calves and shins. Release the knees and the space behind the knees. Relax the tops of the thighs and the backs of the thighs. Let the pelvis be heavy and sink into the earth. Relax the abdomen. Release the rib cage and let go of breath. Let the shoulders be heavy and sink into the earth. Relax the upper arms, elbows, and lower arms. Release the wrists. Relax the hands, fingers, and palms. Relax the throat and the back of the neck. Release the jaw. Let any last thoughts seep out the top of the crown of the head. Let the earth's gravity hold you. Let the air around you breathe you. Take the next few moments and just be. Gently coming back into awareness. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. If you'd like, you can roll your head side to side. When you're ready, and with an inhale, rolling over onto your right or left side. When you're ready, and again with an inhale, pushing up to a comfortable seated position. And bring breath back into the body and find us safely on our way. Let's finish with sun breath number 2. Sorry, I'm going to smack that chair if I stay there. All right, arms out in front. We're going to inhale, open, exhale, closed. 3 times. You ready? Here we go. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Again, inhale, open. Exhale, closed. And one more glorious time. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Palms together, hands at the heart, and namaste.
Namaste.
All right, thanks, guys.
Oh, that's all right.
You're so good.
Oh, thank you.